Hello everyone. This is a series of videos on web development using Django. Django is a Python based framework for developing web applications. There are many Python based frameworks for developing web applications like Flask, CherryPy, Web2Py, Bottle, Pyramid, etc. So, this series of lectures focus particularly on Django and how we develop various web applications. So, Django has become very famous because it is very simple to develop web applications and it is very quick to learn. Since it is based on Python, it is also becomes much more easier to develop application. So in the next coming videos, we will be discussing about how do we install Django, how do we create virtual environment, and how do we install Django in the virtual environment. But before we actually go to creating virtual environment and installing Django, we need to understand some very basic terminal commands. So in this video, I would be discussing some basic terminal commands. So I'll be working here on Mac, whereas you can most of the commands can also be applicable for the Windows. I'll be listing out where the differences are between Mac and Windows, which are very basics, but I'll highlight wherever there are differences, especially when you are installing virtual environment. A few commands in Windows and few commands in Mac, there is a difference. So I'll highlight once we go through that step. So first, before we actually start any of the installations or creating virtual environment, let's first learn few basic commands. For example, we all know in terminal you can access any directory, or you can view the files and folders in a particular directory by using the command ls. Ls will list all the files and folders in the current directory. And this equivalent command in Windows is dir. You can dir, if you type it in the command prompt in Windows, you will be able to see the files and folders of the current folder. The other commands we very often use is to enter into a folder. For that we use cd command and mention any of the one of the directory, and we don't need to type it completely. We can just type few letters and press the tab button. It will automatically fill, and you enter it, you are now into the directory of desktop. And in this way you can once again list the files and folders. You can see it. You can come backwards by pressing cd space dot dot. If you want to create a directory, you can create a directory mydir using the command mkdir, something like this. You can list out this directories. You can see here, this is the directory which we have created. If you want to enter into that directory, you can type mydir1, something like this, cd, and you enter. Now you are in the directory of mydir1. So these commands to create a directory, to enter into a directory, to come back from a directory, in what folder you are, how do we see files and folders, are very basic in Windows and in Mac, or in even any Linux. It's very essential for everyone to know this. So this is a quick revision of those terminal commands. And in the next video, we are going to create the virtual environment and install Django in the virtual environment. And from there on, we start with developing Django based web application.